My name is Nauris Bloks. I'm a FinTech education lead at RBS. Before I invite my guest to join here, I have two more pieces of information I want to share with you. Great news. So, first is that Baltic Finance Centre has recently launched the FinTech Observatory. That's a dashboard where everyone can see the overview of Latvia's FinTech ecosystem. So you can go to the finance.rbs.lv and see information about different types of FinTechs, their turnover figures, employee numbers, taxes paid, company profiles, and find out who are the creators of the FinTech landscape in Latvia. So you are welcome to explore this. And if you have some suggestions, don't hesitate to reach out to the team who is creating this. That's first information. The second is that as this is already season 3 of FinTech Close-Ups, and also the European Union project, in which we are doing all the business education researches, we want to end this on the high note. And that's why we will soon launch FinQuest Competition 2026. That will be a hackathon, which will be targeted for FinTech apps. 3 problems, 3 challenges. 3 companies will come up with their challenges or their ideas what should be solved in the FinTech space, and teams can apply and participate, get mentors from those companies, and not only, and develop your solutions. Yeah. So if you have some idea, this is perfect place where you can come and build your FinTech app. And also there is a win award of 2,000 euros, so you can come and participate and try to win some awards as well. So stay tuned, follow us on the LinkedIn and find out more information about the FinQuest competition, which will start already in the not next weeks, but in the next months. So those are 2 information pieces I wanted to share with you. But now I want to welcome Toms Niparts, co-founder, CEO of Jeff App. Hi, Toms. Mike. So great to have you here, and let's talk about Jeff. But before we jump into Jeff's story, students always like to know who are the persons who get to the building FinTech. So maybe tell a little bit about your background, about yourself.
Sure. Happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me, first and foremost. Yeah, about myself, I consider myself just a regular, hardworking guy out of Latvia. Probably the relevant story about FinTech starts when I was just about to finish my university here in Riga. And it came to a moment of bachelor thesis, and I was studying business and finance. And it was very clear at the time to me and my friend with whom we were writing the thesis together, we are not the guys who will spend the most time in the library to study a given topic to the very bone of it with deep history, or for that matter, build the best econometrics model. So we decided, let's look at something rather new in FinTech. And it was back in 2014, and a rather up-and-coming thing in continental Europe back then was crowdfunding and peer-to-peer financing, as a matter of fact, right? So we understood, let's look into that. Let's understand what the hell it is in general and what drives success in this new type of way of attracting capital for projects, for businesses, for whatever have you. And yeah, as a result, we figured out a lot of interesting insights. But in parallel, it was something that really took off in parallel as we were researching it. It was back the time when I think Mintos appeared, and soon after Twino, where you're the CEO right now. Yeah. Exactly, and yeah, one thing led to another. We did pretty good with the thesis, and one day I got a random phone call from the school. Hey, Toms, there are some guys looking for you. I'm like, okay. No problems, just opportunities there. It was a bunch of people quite experienced in the FinTech industry, people that were back in the day involved in consumer credit, out of Baltics, but mainly working with Spanish market. And yeah, they just approached the university saying, hey, we want to find somebody who knows a thing or two about crowdfunding and peer-to-peer investments. And yeah, that's how they got my number. So yeah, met with the guys for lunch, and one thing led to another. 3 weeks later, I was in Riga airport with a one-way ticket to move from Latvia to Barcelona.
Straight out from the university, yes.
Yeah, it was like graduation was, I think, June 6th, and June 8th I was in the airport in the morning.
Okay.
And of course, I went in between of that. I went to see the guys one time
yeah.
to see if they're actually, real. It's a sham or something. But yeah, they effectively brought me in to build this type of fundraising vehicle to restructure how they were funding their loan books before and after. And yeah, and in parallel with that again, of course, we looked a lot in more mature markets such as United States, United Kingdom, but players like Mintos and Twino were also coming up in parallel. So we soon after that launched our own platform.
And Spain, yeah. So
in Spain, but again, the kind of the ties were back to Latvia. It was like surreal situation that it was a Latvian limited liability company, but all not all, but most of the stuff happened with actually people coding and thinking how the platform should look like and responding to customer requests and everything, which was me for a large part of the duties in the beginning myself. And then yeah, so this is how it my journey in fintech started. And then soon after that, platform scaled, things happened in the company I was working for, ownership changed, a lot of like very, very fun turns. Happy to dive in that later if relevant. But yeah, ultimately in a few years from that time I landed in Spain, I took over control of the entire group there that hired me in the first place as the general manager, reporting to the new owners, multi-billion private equity fund, billionaire at the very head of it, very like deep and then focused on fintech and financial services. And yeah, it was like one heck of a roller coaster ride all the way up to 2019 when I ultimately resigned and moved back to Latvia to build the company I'm scaling today.
But so you already had an idea to build Jeff when you were working in Spain, so you had some ideas, or something just went wrong in Spain and this, okay, I will go back to Latvia and then I will figure out what to do?
Yeah, there were many different factors. Definitely some things, for the most part, a lot of things I saw throughout my journey back at that old company contributed to identifying the problem, seeing it, validating it. Because in the beginning, yes, it was, investment side, then it was Spanish market for consumer lending, and then ultimately I was with the new ownership group getting involved in some of their other markets, Southeast Asia, a bit of Latin America, and this is where, for the bigger picture, I really built a rather detailed understanding myself how staggering the differences are with regards to access to financial products and financial services, especially in digital environment in developed markets versus emerging economies across the world. So yeah, a lot of dots connected, a lot of connections were gained during that time. So yeah, if you ask me, if my journey from 2015 to 19 would have gone other way, would I still have founded Jeff? Probably not, because I wouldn't have gotten the insights that let me piece the puzzle together, so to speak.
Yeah, okay, so you are packed with insights, knowledge, and contacts. You came back to Latvia, and then, okay, so how you came to the idea that Jeff is the right direction to work in, so brokerage, so how you became to this factor?
Yeah, so again, first a couple of years in the beginning I spent in Spain, went from knowing nothing to knowing at a good enough level just about every last thing of what matters in consumer finance. And then once I got a bit involved in those markets like Vietnam and Philippines and Mexico and some other places, it was like, wow, this is entirely different. This is missing. This is like upside down. So yeah, I was basically, first of all, getting a bit of like, cold shower moment in terms of what the hell is going on here. And then, okay, you deal with the first shock, so to say, and you start thinking about the big picture. Okay, so let's take 6 markets where we are today. Some of the bigger ones are like Vietnam, Philippines, India, Mexico, Colombia as well, since not too long ago. It's like more than roughly 25% of world's population live there. Absolute majority of people living in those markets have a super tough time accessing financial services. So if we think about, sitting here in Latvia, okay, most of, people in the audience, students still, making their way, probably still first proper job is ahead of them. But for your average adult, if you work, if you have a good bank account usage, you have a sort of, proper trail of financial data, because, ultimately what banks and lenders care about, they care about your income, they care about your current expense levels, they care about your, past performance with other liabilities or outstanding liabilities, of course, some other factors as well. And you can effectively, in any developed market, any European market, United States, most other, like what you can consider a developed economy, get this type of fundamental financial background on, 80-90% market by market varies, but on absolute majority of working adults. And there it's upside down. People don't really go about using bank accounts across the board. They resort to cash, they resort to alternative payment methods such as mobile wallets. Like, case in point, last time I was in Mexico, so there's like a super long queue at the ATM on the street on like Friday night. I was asking somebody there, like, what the hell is going on? Is it like some bank run or what? And no, it's like in Mexico, people get paid in what they call quinceañeras, like every 15 days, roughly, at least majority of them. What most of them do?
Cash out?
They go to the ATM, they cash out all the money, and they go about their business in that way. And that doesn't create any traceable footprint. And that creates a lot of complexity to understand what type of, financial behavior and patterns those consumers have. And in turn, it kind of creates this spiral around limited access to financial services as an end result. And so getting back to the point how Jeff came to be, so I gathered a lot of these insights, started talking to a lot of local lenders that were coming up, especially like expat companies, out of CIS countries, out of Europe, out of other places, people that really have seen it, been there, done that in financial services industry, going to large emerging markets that have big populations, very optimistic longer-term outlook for economic growth, GDP per capita projections, etc. And, just betting on the, long play that if we are going into these markets where there are still blue ocean, not red ocean, we're gonna win big in the long term. And seeing that this motion started to happen, that this like 80% plus population is underserved, and fintechs are starting to bridge the gap, and soon after neobanks started to follow, it was clear to me that the general truth for any business, financial services or otherwise, is if you do good business, what you want to do, you want to grow. And there is hardly any sensible digital brokerage growth sales channel for them. So we understood, there is like 1,000 things we don't know. It's like
high risk.
Gundam Vietnam that we started with back in 2020, a couple months before COVID, which was also fun. But we
will get there. But I guess it's a great time to explain what is the core service that Jeff does. So how you have built your product.
Of course. So essentially what Jeff does is it allows people to compare and apply for financial services and products, predominantly loans and cards, at the present in all these markets where we operate. So let's take an analog. You might go on a trip, vacation, whatever have you. Chances are you'll go to booking.com or Airbnb to find where you're going to stay. Chances are you're going to go to Skyscanner, Kiwi Kayak to find airline tickets and so on and so forth, about car rentals or whatever have you. So we effectively do the same type of solution for financial services, financial price comparison, if you will. And the different angle is that we invested considerable time in the beginning and still to this day to really understand what do lenders do in an environment when traditional financial data is absent. There are no credit bureaus, there are no financial track records and bank accounts exactly, what type of data they're using. And in turn, we don't stop at just, finding traffic on the internet and trying to resell it at a higher price. We also capture a lot of these digital data points and the footprint of the consumers. Then we apply data science and machine learning to build algorithms, models, predictive classificators to do better, more curated, personalized distribution that exactly for you, based on the inputs we gathered, this is what we really recommend you should do. Here are also some opportunities you might not be eligible for right now, but we can help you by providing educational steps to take, how you can get there.
Okay, what are those alternative sources where you get this information? So social networks, something like that?
Yeah, there are a number of things, and ironically, it's nothing unique in a way which you wouldn't leave as a footprint if you engage with some e-commerce platform or with some ride-hailing app, let's say. So it starts with fundamental sources like IP address, geolocation, what type of device you're using, and then it goes into a bit different and then complex indicators and inputs that you also generate through the user journey with us, such as how you engage with direct communication through emails, SMSs, push notifications, all of that makes impact.
So behavioral data.
Also fingerprinting, like click tracing, things like that. But about social media, what you mentioned, so another big issue in those markets is not just the lack of financial data, it's also the fact that in most of those markets, a big issue is there is no centralized database from government or otherwise where you can get validation about one's identity. So a common case, there's this huge company out of Czech Republic, originally Home Credit, the largest non-bank consumer finance company in many of those Asian markets. One of the country managers told me when we were meeting over lunch last year that, hey, actually, our biggest challenge historically has been somebody comes in an electronics store in Vietnam, let's say, they buy a phone, we give the loan, let's say the phone costs $1,000, person puts up 400, takes 600 as loan from us, he goes around the corner, sells it for 700 to somebody, $300 instant profit, use the fake email, burner, SIM card, burner, phone, whatever.
And it's gone.
Yeah, so one of the things we figured out along the way is, speaking of social media, there's this concept called OSINT, or open source intelligence, which in theory is like data available for anybody. In practice, it takes quite a bit of engineering work to really acquire and properly utilize this data. So what we started doing is when person signs up with us, they of course are asked to leave their email and phone number. We started doing triangulation. So there's a set of like social platforms, e-commerce platforms, messengers, like a few dozen of them. In which of these platforms has this email and this phone number been seen? It's also not even like verification that's exactly the same person. It could have been you who entered Nauris at Gmail, and it could have been me who used Nauris at Gmail to apply for a loan.
It's similar. So
yeah, but still statistically what we saw was the more of these like positive matches we get, the more in retrospect, it correlates with better quality of the user. And also there were like interesting, what we call internally low hit, high impact signals. For example, if somebody has been seen on places like LinkedIn or GitHub, it doesn't happen often, but when it does, they again correlate with better quality because
they have a job, they are doing something.
They have a set of skills that will generate income, and therefore they will be able to take good care of their liabilities. Exactly.
Okay, great. So from user perspective, as a Vietnamese citizen, I download Jeff app. It's mobile app, yeah. So
it's predominantly web platform.
Web platform. So I go in, I sign up, and then I add some data, and then I see some kind of financial services which would be suggested to me, right? And then I can either create better scoring for the better services, or I can use some of the services which are there. Yeah. So and you are then working as a brokerage, which just passed to some of the financial services.
Exactly. So, yeah, our kind of main goal is to again give people access to the best product they are eligible for today and help them pave the path to a better tomorrow. Easier said than done, obviously.
Yep.
But yeah, so the big part is in the beginning we had this stupid belief that we will from out of the gate go to literally anybody we want to work with on the business to business side, like any lender, any bank, and say, hey guys, buy leads from us, buy data as well, and it's gonna be like fantastic. And the response was, well, what any sane person would expect, which wasn't me and my co-founder back in the day. Yeah, if you're bringing us customers that match our criteria, we'll pay you what we pay to anybody else who wants to do the same business. About data, well, with all due respect, boys, some boys from Eastern Europe, have you even been in Vietnam? And we hadn't back then. Have you even been here and so on? And if you have so fancy, cool data and way to go about it, go create your own bank, go create your own lending company. Like, we're not interested. And then, yeah, it struck us that, hey, why would they believe us? We didn't have any, reputation to our name. And effectively, we came back to an understanding that we need to do one thing well, fulfill a core need, which is growth for them, and which is finding what people are looking for, the consumers. And then as we build up the traction, establish relationships, reputation, all those things, then we go and try to educate both sides of the market more about what else we can do through data, how we can make their lives better and easier.
Okay, so you already mentioned, yeah, so the guys from Eastern Europe going somewhere in Asia. So what were the, like, how you assess, what are the key milestones for Jeff, how you actually grew, why you grew, how you were able to expand in those regions?
So, first of all, out of the gate, we had, like, mostly in my part, most relevant experience in 3 markets in Southeast Asia: Philippines, Indonesia, Vietnam. And it was, we were like bootstrapping in the beginning with all the savings we had with my co-founder, so we can't go for all 3 markets at once, right? Okay, so we knew right away that Indonesia is the biggest but the toughest market from regulatory standpoint, so we're not going to go there first. So it was like Philippines and Vietnam. And despite the fact that Philippines is like mostly English speaking and culture is closer to what we could understand, we still looked at the depth of our contact book and kind of low-hanging insights we could obtain. For some like weird mix of factors, we decided to go for Vietnam.
Which is not English-speaking communist country.
Yeah, it's like
easy choice, right?
Yeah, well, it's good for like food and tourism and the sites and everything, but why the hell you would want to go and do business in Vietnam out of the other side of the planet, right? Never having been there, especially. But yeah, we ultimately kind of felt that this is the way to go, and we did. It was like January 2020 when we launched. And what happened after that was
February, March 2020.
Exactly. We even, like, there was this funny story. We hired a country manager in the beginning, a local Vietnamese guy, pretty experienced. And he like sends us picture and message on Slack on 2nd or 3rd week that, guys, please allow me to take half day off. I'm in the queue in the drugstore and pharmacy. Okay, what queue? People are lining up to buy the face masks, right? Okay, what's up with that? There's this virus, like this COVID thing, right? And we're like a bit laughing, but then we weren't laughing soon after that anymore, right? And they had like also this nuance that in Asia Pacific they already had one type of SARS virus in the, if I'm not mistaken, early 2000s. So they kind of knew that shit's gonna hit the fan, right? And yeah, so ultimately what happened soon after as the COVID went ballistic, Vietnam, thanks to its political regime, which you already mentioned, were able to enforce like iron fist type of policy. You can get out of country, but rarely anybody gets in. If somebody goes in, like sort of concentration camp type of quarantine for several weeks until we're absolutely damn sure you're not infectious. We consider you are. And then it allowed the country to stay like with at least what they report to less than 100 cases recorded until like late summer 2021. Well, on the other hand, like Philippines and Indonesia and most of the markets were in lending moratoriums, and then the industry went like super down, companies out of business. So yeah, if we would have gone to any other market, chances are we would have had a very short life cycle of this project, so to speak.
So as a startup, you started, then the COVID hit, but due to the Vietnam's ability to contain
Yeah,
the operations of the country, you actually could proceed with
it
your
was
business.
insanely lucky bet to go Vietnam first. Nobody could have predicted that, but yeah, the luck played in our favor in that case. So that was the milestone number one before we even properly got started, right? So then we kind of raised some capital, and then so on. Second milestone I could highlight was that it was again this late summer of 2021 when we're doing well in Vietnam. Our like monthly revenue is around the level that the entire year before was by that time, so not bad, right? I raised some capital, and then parties starting in Vietnam as well. In the beginning, it's like very quickly like going exponential. First of all, only army allowed in the streets to deliver food and whatever. Then they allowed the ride-hailing drivers because the army couldn't keep up with it. But yeah, it's like clear that we kind of keep it this way. And yeah, so we went to, in parallel, we had the capital already in the Philippines and to Indonesia. So that was our, I would say, next milestone, how we tested our ability to go multi-market. Yeah, there was a lot of good findings, good learnings we were able to gather. So Philippines was relatively, I would say, straightforward, which was definitely not the case about Indonesia. It's like if there is, in my experience, market that is heavily over-regulated in financial services in the world, that's goddamn Indonesia. We spent 3 years to get the license. Apparently, you need a financial license of a certain type. They have like 16 different financial service clusters, not even talking about number of different licenses you could get. But yeah, we spent like 3 years, faced like multiple corruption attempts, like bring guys from regulator to Malaysia for party weekend, pay $150K and get the license. Buy license from this company, it's only like $1 million, and okay, what do they have? And they send us some 10 slide PowerPoint deck that's been created like by a 5th grader. And so we ultimately got it the right way. And yeah, the right way is not the way in Indonesia, because in a couple months from then, the license by some random visit one day before religious like holiday that lasts for several weeks was taken away, and yeah,
just like that, license removed, and
yeah, the law states you need to notify several working days in advance and send agenda. It was just a bunch of people coming into their office. Hey, surprise, surprise. Show us like this list of 50 things. Oh, you don't have all of them.
okay, license away.
Too bad.
Okay, but so you are now operating in Indonesia, or you just dropped the idea? So after all the investment, 3 years working with this, you just understood that that's not the way.
It was a tough pill to swallow, because exactly as you pointed, we had invested time, money, emotions, mental capacity, but
opportunity cost to spend somewhere else.
Sometimes in life you just have to let go. And which brings me to the third milestone or moment, I would say. I wouldn't even call it necessarily milestone. Since like early 2022, we started getting some signals, because at least a handful of partners we work with their international fintech groups. So you will, similar like us today, you will find them in Southeast Asia, in Latin America and other parts of the world. So they started pinging us that, hey guys, really love working with you. We see how you can bring both volume and quality in terms of helping us grow, you know, which makes you stand out among all the channels like brokers or otherwise. Mexico is taking off. And okay, good. Second message like that, third like that. My team starts coming to me, Toms, what do we do about this? I'm like, guys, we're like barely 10 people in the team. Do we really want to split our focus between like two like time zones that are more than 10 hours apart, completely different culture, all that complexity? Let's focus on Asia. 4th call comes in, 5th call, 6th, 7th. Come on, you know the language, you spent several years, you have some contacts you can cook up and all that. Let's stay focused on Asia. So towards the tail end of 2023, which was still before the license in Indonesia was taken away, okay, like it's 10 customers lined up and people talking crazy things about me behind my back because I'm not going about this, the crazy mad CEO. Let's give it a try. And we like played around, tinkered a bit in Mexico end of 23, and then in January we properly started to go about it. We went in the first, like in January of 2024, to like something between 5 and 10K monthly revenue, and in the next 8 months we did 50x. So it went into hundreds of thousands per month. Yeah, and in between of that, roughly in like April, May, our license in Indonesia was taken away. So this was where we really, what you said about opportunity cost, it was, yeah, Indonesia is an exciting market, but why do we need to keep causing self-inflicted pain if we have other opportunities where, you know, we're welcomed and expected with arms wide open and with such an immense opportunity to grow?
As a CEO, how hard it was to actually change the decision, because you are kind of sticking, the Asia is our target, we know that, and Mexico is somewhere totally other side of the world. So how you handle this decision?
Yeah, it's, of course, you know, one thing is you can, you know, with adequate resources, capital, team size, everything, those are operational things. It's not like walk in the park, but you can figure it out, especially in our case when we had like gone to like 3 markets. We also had Sri Lanka, by the way, which we had like, I think in 2022 or 2023, launched, scaled, understood that it's not exciting for us and we sold it. We had like certain elements of playbook, even though we didn't have the playbook itself, how to replicate it. But the challenging parts were, you know, it's a fight with yourself, with your, like, not I wouldn't say like ego, but with your, you know, mental principles, like, okay, how and where and why I admit that I was wrong, and how I change my own way of thinking, and then more importantly, how you communicate to the rest of the team. That yeah, I know I've been shouting about this for last like 18 months that we're not fucking doing this because it's this and that and something else, and now it's suddenly come out, yeah, we're doing this because this and that and that, and but again, those are you know, some of the, you know, hard things about the hard things we do as entrepreneurs. That's it.
Yeah. Very good. Okay, let's check in with the audience. The audience has some questions, what they want to ask before we proceed. Yeah, there is one.
Thank you. My question is about the machine learning algorithms that you use for credit risk scoring. How do you ensure high accuracy of these algorithms if you mainly focus on the behavioral data, as I understood, and government data, the government statistics data, it's unreliable or not available? Thank you. And also about the data quality issues. Yeah.
Sure. So about data quality issues, I get a feeling you're curious at the very least about these topics. I usually say that I don't want to comment about topics where I don't feel strong about. This is why we have by now strong people, really. It would be like a good topic to spar about with my chief data officer. But getting to your first question, so how we ensure the accuracy of said models and then the validity of data. So in the very kind of core, in the very concept, right? So any data science model you want to train to get better, you need to, you know, sufficient sample size and clear understanding that the target you're optimizing towards is the right one. So in our case, it wasn't necessarily credit risk, which in the beginning we anticipated. For credit risk, what you need, you get like repayment data, which only the banks and lenders themselves have within. So we ultimately understood that our models first and foremost are focused on how we bring people from the first interaction with our platform to actually getting the product. So internally we call it conversion score, if you will, that they're converting to initial loan or card. And then yeah, once we showed and then through relevant metrics we're able to identify to our partners, they started engaging in discussions with us. Okay, now we understood what exactly this is and how you're doing it. Very good that you understand. Would you be open to share your payment data so we can work towards an actual credit scoring model for your purposes as well? And we've had some success in those directions historically as well. I'm not sure if I fully answered, probably didn't, but
The main idea is that it's not credit scoring, it's more the conversion score just to get to that client, and then the credit scoring is already the topic that the lender has to solve. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and just to add on that a little bit, so what's our pitch to those partners, to those lenders, is that guys, we have a substantial amount of these digital data points, footprint, raw data, what have you. We have built an API, and we have built a bunch of internal scores, which we're happy to give to you to try out, to see if our data somehow helps you make better decisions
Credit
with
models.
approvals or portfolio quality. And yeah, if you like it, let's go ahead, let's integrate, let's agree on commercials. And we have a handful of partners like that that purchase the customers from us, but additionally, they also purchase data from us, both to enhance customers they receive from Jeff, as well as from other
overall
acquisition
scoring model.
channels.
Okay, good. Any other questions? Okay, if not, then proceeding our discussion. So let's maybe a bit talk about the business numbers. Yeah. So you're operating in 6 countries currently. Yeah. So which ones?
So we have Vietnam, Philippines, India, Spain, Colombia, and Mexico.
Okay, Spain is the European, and everything is outside of Europe. Yeah. So how many customers do you have actually? Yeah. So
it's shameful to admit, but I'll admit that I wouldn't know the exact number right now. Second half of last year, we surpassed 10 million people that have used our platform in all countries combined. We also surpassed last year 100 million products compared since we started doing this business. And yeah, for a while it was like those were some numbers we were looking at, but it sounds nice in PR releases and all that, but ultimately it's a vanity metric. It's not about how many people we get at the top of funnel. It's about how well and better we can help them to go from what they came looking for all the way to how many of them got it, which is a severe issue in financial services in general, and especially in emerging markets.
So what is your success metric then? What you are looking on a daily or weekly basis?
Yeah. So really, one of the fundamental metrics would be if we talk about the user side as the conversion rate through the funnel. We cannot like put it in a uniform format because in some partnerships we have it like open bank account or issued card or issued loan, and some others is just sufficient lead, let's say. So it's a bit messy in that regard. Of course, there are commercial internal metrics in that regard, but yeah, ultimately the goal is to have yesterday 100 people coming in, and let's say randomly 10 of them getting to what they came looking for. Today have 11 or more. Because in that case, again, you provide good service to the consumer, you provide improving service to the B2B partner, everybody's happy. If everybody's happy with you, you have way easier time to go bigger and bigger.
Yeah, so how big is the Jeff team?
The team is around 50 people right now.
And everyone is located here in Latvia?
Yeah, that's most of that. Cool story right now is that thanks to the small, efficient team, part of them are on vacation in Bali right now.
Oh, that's great.
Fantastic timing.
Yeah.
You're looking outside the window.
Envy them, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So 50, yes, 50 people.
Around 50 people, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And you had one or several capital raise rounds?
We had that's a question I should know top of my mind.
Okay. So
we had like
capital you have?
Five in total. We raised less than $5 million in capital in total. And yeah, we've been rather capital efficient, living very close to the mantra of all-time great in venture capital, Doug Leon, who used to run Sequoia for many years, raise least possible amount of money to get to the next big milestones. And good part of that money is still in our books, in our accounts at our disposal.
Very good. In your opinion, what has been the key drivers or enablers for Jeff growth? Yeah? So how you see why you have been able to achieve these numbers?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, it all comes to people, down people. People create great things. People create great problems, right? So it goes both ways. And I would say that it hasn't been, always successful, but we have been very stubborn as founders, as core team members, to keeping everybody and anybody who comes to the team at the very high standards. So this is, one of the tricky parts when you scale the organization and the team, how you can do it in a way that the level of your average team member doesn't fall, but actually improves, which is incredibly difficult. Managing 50 people is way harder than 5. But yeah, I mean, I think we have to pay tribute to our roots in general. We are all coming out of Eastern Europe, so we've never been in a very advantageous position in terms of, access to capital, especially for startups. We have had to been like scrappy in our DNA. And this is the way how we lived since the very first day at Jeff, and even now, even though we're like doing considerable numbers and a lot of profitable months, etc., we're still giving people shit if they went for the team lunch for burgers and didn't bring the receipt back. If like trivial example, but still. And another thing is, it's not about the buzzwords, machine learning, data science, AI. It's about a very, very, very strong grip on the fact that I don't care who, my co-founder or junior employee or anybody in between from whichever function, if they cannot back and explain their rationale of some decision or project through data that I can comprehend, bringing it to like first order principles when needed, it's not an argument I will digest well.
So highly data-driven decision making.
Yeah. So this is what we hear from a lot of people coming and joining the team. Yeah, guys, like a lot of companies say that they have data-driven decision making. You are really walking the talk, and we have a other end of the stick in that way. Yeah, like, I don't know, more than 200 reports, dashboards, whatnot in our business intelligence system that are taking up data pipelines bandwidth and should be depreciated, at least part of them.
Yeah, but in the essence, you are in a data business, so that data is everything for your business.
This is actually a very good topic. Are we a fintech? Are we a data company? Are we a credit scoring company?
How you position yourself?
Ultimately, we've come to a realization that at the end of the day, we're a marketing company. Specialists in fintech, but we're a marketing company. And it's not a bad company to be these days, because in the age of AI, like, I really love this quote from, I hope some of you know Lovable, this insanely great company out of Sweden. Their founder last year in one of the fundraise announcements said, before Canva, there was like roughly 5 million graphic designers in the world. Canva changed the rules in graphic design. Who, how, and what way could create, I don't know, invitation, banner, greeting card, whatever have you. So we are doing the same with Lovable. We're trying to enable everybody who has ideas in their mind to turn them into reality. And in an environment where everybody can build, competition for attention becomes so much more fierce, and therefore importance of marketing, go to market, and being good and fluent at that becomes so much more important. So I'm happy where we are in that regard.
Very good, very good. Okay, so you mentioned team quality, you mentioned the data-driven decision making. So something else that you see is the key enablers for your growth, or?
Yeah, getting back to the people again, it's all about the characteristics. of people you have there. I've heard some of these opinions that company culture is bullshit and things along those lines. And again, there are different companies, different founders. There is no uniform truth, I would say. But what was really a turning point for us, because obviously a lot of things happening, a lot of dynamics and everything. There are some of these cases when you have some tough conversations among founders and key people, especially regarding somebody leaving or being fired or whatnot. And we were like having quite a bit of frustration for a long time. And then we sat down one week with my two co-founders, and we didn't close the topic until we really could look at the whiteboard, at our set of values. Do we really agree they are true? And can we evaluate any case, any team member, any situation through the prism of those values? So is the team, is the whoever involved or whatever happened working in alignment with those? And if not, how we identify that? So I would say these things really, when we figured out, it made us way better in terms of understanding where, how, and why we evolve our team, promote people, find additional people, and so on.
So culture and values also is driving the growth. Yeah, very good, very good. So about if you're a bit building up on the culture or approach mindset, so how you are shaping your mindset around the product building? Yeah, so what is the key things for you when you are building products? Are you taking customers? Are you going your own way with the product as you see? So how you approach this?
Yeah, first of all, for full disclosure, this is like third season. I'm more than sure that a big part of people who were in this chair before me have best practices to share. I don't consider we've done a great job with the product itself, in our case, in many aspects. Having said that, in the grand scheme of things, how I like to put it, with Jeff, we're not reinventing a bicycle. We are adapting and tailoring for the needs of territories where it hasn't been adopted yet. So what I'm trying to say, in our case, a lot of great examples, best practices can be sourced from developed markets, United States, United Kingdom, many European markets. So we have sort of a good blueprint in that regard. Where we don't have a good blueprint and where we are making the way is how you make it work in multiple emerging markets in different continents. Nobody ever has succeeded with that. There are good players in Philippines, there are good players in Mexico. We are really a rare breed in terms of making it work in those places, in India and between among other countries. So there's that. And then there is, let's say, a shift of paradigm in our internal approach and thinking now with AI changing rules of the game. But not sure how deep to go into that.
Yeah, and I guess we could talk another hour about the AI, especially on that and marketing business. Okay, let's check in with the audience. Maybe some questions have appeared. Yeah, there is some questions.
Yeah, Toms, you mentioned that about the core values of Jeff App. Could you name at least 3 of them? And also my second question regarding the values in hiring. As you now are scaling and probably are also thinking about entering new markets, like new countries, for the sourcing of talent, do you use some agencies or you do it in-house?
Cool. So about giving, we have like 6 values. Thank you. We have 6 values in total. If I need to pick 3, I would say action over perfection, own it, and 10x mentality. So why those 3 come out is they are originated from our own experience and history, mostly in Jeff, but not only. Very often you come across situations and cases where everybody has opinion, And if you don't put the proper structure in place, there are particular people that love talking. They will talk for days, for weeks, for months, and hardly anything will move. So this is like one of the things we really are putting front and center to our team on regular basis, that yeah, cool, everybody has ideas, but we need to act on them. So that's one thing. The other thing about this own it, especially nowadays, we live in like very interesting times with the change of generations. Surprisingly often you will have especially younger people coming in and saying, I want to make an impact, I want to see how my ideas and contributions materialize, and of course how I'm valued for those. But we've seen surprisingly many cases when people want freedom, but they don't understand it comes with responsibility. So one of our core values, therefore, is we give you the platform to turn your idea into reality, of course, through certain validation layers. If we want to, let you work on it, have we seen enough of you in your main set of duties once you enter the company that we feel that you could make it with your own project? But it comes with a set of responsibilities. We don't care if it was IT guy had other priorities or somebody got sick or whatnot. Like, if you want the freedom, you have to take responsibility with it. You have to own it, really. And there are like multiple cases to bring up how that looks in reality. And then about the 10x mentality, this is of course what any high growth ambition company wants to have. Many of them say 100x, etc. But this, especially why 10x, this stuck with me after one of the interviews with Brian Chesky, founder of Airbnb. Why he uses this 10x mentality is you will often see that yeah, if we change this button or do that, it will improve conversion by expectedly 7 to 12%. And his stance was that always expect people to produce propositions how it can be 10 times better. Because again, surprise, surprise, even if they are off by a considerable margin, and in reality it's like 5 times worse, you did a cool 2x. So that's like one fundamental aspect. And the other thing, it makes people think about things differently from the grand scheme of things. Because very often once you look at things from the sidelines, it looks like obvious, this should be done, that should be different. But once you actually get into the grind in your daily wheel of things, flying low, flying high, being good at your day-to-day job, but then again having the discipline and ability to every now and then zoom out and see the big picture and find some seemingly trivial things that are broken that you just didn't notice, it's way harder than it sounds. So this also forces this 10x mentality to every now and then take a few steps back and look at the big picture, and does this make sense? And as to your second question about outreach, I believe there are different things that work for different companies, different entrepreneurs, different stages of businesses. And this is one of the beautiful parts of a small team, that majority of best people we've had and we have come from my personal outreach. Spending shamingly large amount of time on LinkedIn predominantly, spamming people, calling as it is. Now I'm kind of improving that a bit. My executive associate has access to my LinkedIn, and we have some agreements in place, so she cannot do much with maybe stuff she shouldn't be seeing in my older direct messages with some bad meme jokes, with some other connections, etc. But basically, yeah, if getting back to serious note, the single best thing we've seen is if founder of a company reaches out with a personalized message to a curated list of talent that might fit the bill, the response rate is going to be far better than any outstanding agency, any like alternative solution, at least in my experience. Curious to see how AI can potentially not change, but make this more efficient, if you will.
As a CEO, I can agree to this. This is working the best. So internally, and especially if the higher ranks of the employee, the better the response rate.
Exactly.
Great. Okay. Do we have some other questions from audience? The last chance. Yep. There is one.
Thank you. Very insightful discussion. I had the time today to read your LinkedIn post. I think it was 2019, about 7 steps, and when you started, Jeff.
Oh my God.
Just out of curiosity, does the founding team and previous discussion was about your core values? Has the core values remained the same? And also, did you distribute the rules of, I wouldn't say rules, but how did the co-founders work to align? So how you align the work and responsibilities between the co-founders?
So you have 3 co-founders. You are 3 co-founders, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay. How you align on the values and how you split the responsibilities?
Yeah, these are like some tricky questions to answer off the bat, so thank you for them. I would say for part of the values, the wording definitely has changed. And some values that we couldn't articulate them properly or understand the importance of even articulating them properly way back then, they have dropped and some new ones have come in. So it's not like, yeah, we have the same values since 10 years ago. Because, I mean, maybe it works for somebody like serial entrepreneur, seasoned veteran of business, but I think in our case, it's actually a good thing because it shows that we're not the same people we were back in 2019. Chances are, if I read that article again tonight, I'll be having a hard time to look myself in the mirror and like, dude, what the hell, to myself. But yeah, so I would say what hasn't changed, and thank God for that, is the core set of characteristics in us as founders that we haven't really gone away ourselves from the grind. The passion is still there, the spark is still there. Yes, we have families, kids, most of us, and life has changed substantially. But still, if it hits the fan, doesn't matter. 3 a.m. Sunday, 11 p.m. on Tuesday night. If it's necessary, we know that we're gonna be there, we're gonna solve it, we're gonna figure this stuff out then and there, not my job starts tomorrow and I don't even feel like going to the job because I'm not excited about it anymore. So that's a great thing, on a general note, yeah. I think we can, in Jeff, mostly be happy between the 3 founders that it's been like 6 years now, and we've stood strong as a core team, which is rarely the case. But every next year, the risk of founder fallout or somebody burning out only increases. So yeah, I mean, to again summarize answer, some of those values are better articulated, some of them have gone and new, more suitable ones have come into place. But the core set of principles, how we as leading individuals do our job, go about our job and what we build, they have largely stayed intact.
So you have very good 3-party marriage.
Well, I wouldn't put it in the same terminology, but it's whatever it is, it's working quite well.
And responsibility split, how you like you have each your own competency which you are covering, so
Yeah.
there is no like mix.
Oh, it's also ever changing, right? So, like what I did back in 2020 and then what I do today, those are considerably different things. Right now, we just, also for context, find ourselves in a place where the business and the team is going through certain restructuring from centralized setup to regional setup, because a year ago we had 3 markets, now we have 6. We don't plan to stop here. So, and it's not viable to keep having centralized governments and an operational setup. We need to, fork into different geographies, if you will, to add the 7th and 8th and 10th and so on market eventually. So that kind of throws us back to the good old days, and in some ways, as we're temporarily operating as regional managers ourselves and trainers. As for you're a technical person yourself, right, Nauris? You know that a CTO role, it is kind of, business people can do a lot of things, but they cannot really do much in technical.
Those are easy boundaries, yeah. The technical part is easy boundaries.
So there's the kicker, right? That last year we understood at one point that, yeah, we want to go for those next markets because Mexico works so well. We want to go Colombia and Spain, but who's going to do this? Everybody's overstretched, and if we look for somebody new, it's going to take time to find and onboard, and it's going to be we're going to wait 4 months or whatever. Our CTO took on launching the 2 new markets. Some things worked, some things we learned. Let's put it that way. But we've been also in that place where in the
step up.
Yeah, CTO says step up, and okay, I'll give it a go, and let's see what comes of it.
That's very good team spirit. That you have. Everyone is ready to fill in if there is opportunity.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I feel that we could extract knowledge and insights from you for another hour, yeah, but we have time limitations. But just to wrap up our today's discussion, and then maybe what would be the one piece of advice from you to someone who would like to start the fintech company today, or marketing company as you position, fintech marketing company, yeah, so one piece of advice.
Yeah, I mean, if it's for somebody who really feels that they're ready to start, answer why. What is the unique set of insights and knowledge that you possess that very few people in the world have that set you up for success in what you are out to do? In our case, it again was relevant insights from the market, context that we were able to build, validation before we even started writing first line of code. But in general, you can narrow it down to 2 groups. Most great startups have come either when the founder himself has felt the problem as a user, or they've been super close and firsthand to the problem being seen, witnessed, and then hey, why is it like that? And there's so big pain and so big opportunity if I can solve it, and which was our case. But I think given the aspect that there is a lot of young people in the audience, I don't know who's at the other end of the screens, right? But I would say at the very beginning of your career, it's definitely not a bad idea to learn all those valuable lessons at somebody else's expense instead of going right out of the university for building your own business with your own limited capital. And to that regard, the key piece of advice I would leave is prioritize your first job, your first jobs around the manager, about the boss you will have, because that one person or those few people can have such an insane impact on the rest of your career and therefore in the rest of your life.
There you have it. So gather insights on someone else's expense and then go out and build and leverage that insights. Thank you very much, Toms. It was really a pleasure to talk with you. I have a small present to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Very nice.
Before we finishing and wrapping up this event, just a reminder, we have next event already lined up. It will be on the end of the February, and the guest will be Sigita Kotlarev, CEO of investment platform Nektaro. So it will be interesting discussion from Twino, Nektaro, two investment platforms. Thank you.
Thank you.